Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm looking at the new climate expansion for Nature, and disclaimer that I was sent a review copy for this. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our weekly podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So again, this is the latest modular expansion for Nature. It adds in this big climate board that's going to have the temperature potentially oscillating between high and low. When it's in the low region, it acts a little bit like the Tundra expansion, except it can get even worse and colder than that one. But it can also go into the hot area as well, which apparently is also going to be covered in a future desert expansion. But you can still mix and match it with those other modules. But what I'm going to show you today is a solo play using just climate and the base game. And if this is your first time watching Nature, I might go watch one of my other playthroughs because I'm going to kind of fast forward through things a little bit and assume that you're already somewhat familiar with the game. So yeah, to set things up, we've got the climate board, we've got a new deck of trait cards. And to start out the game, as always, we're going to give Ronnie, the solo player, 2 starting species instead of 1. So here we've got the Glutton from the base game and the Evader from the base game. No special ones yet. And I'm playing on the Rabbit difficulty, the second lowest, because I barely won my last easy mouse game, which means Ronnie's going to start with 2 population on their second species, 1 on their first like normal, and they're going to get 6 cards every round to boost themselves up. I'll also go ahead and have them start as the starting player, and I, of course, just have my basic 1 population and 1 size. And that's about it. Let's get into round 1 and show you what's new with Nature Climate. So the big thing is at the beginning of the preparation phase, before we do anything, we're going to roll these 2 dice. One shows half hot and half cold, and the other one shows values 1 through 6. Okay, and we got 1 cold. Okay, that's very nice. So we're staying in the temperate region of the temperature. And instead of a random card draw at the start of the game, the amount of food put out each round is going to be based on the current temperature. So in temperate, we're getting 3 food per player. So a total of 6 to start out in the watering hole. Now, in the normal game, Ronnie's species will switch which side they're using to determine their priorities based on whether they've been hurt or not, and they'll always start out on the left side. But in this one, they instead use the cold-looking tree if the temperature is in a cold range, cold, frigid, or ice age, and they use the hot side if it's scorching age, hot, or warm. Now here, with it being temperate, they just stay wherever they already are, which means they start on the left side this time. Additionally, if it was super hot in the hot or scorching age section, they would reduce their size by 1 if able for each species. Because, as you'll see at the end of the round, your species have an easier time surviving the heat if they're small. So Ronnie's bot sort of tries to emulate that. Okay, now they're getting 3 climate cards and 3 regular nature cards, because again, we're playing on the Rabbit difficulty and we're just shuffling them up. As for me, I was going to draw a bunch of nature cards because they have ways to mitigate the effects of the cold or the heat on your species. But we didn't get any of that yet. It's still very temperate, so I'm going to draw a little mix. 3 regular, 2 climate. And let's see what we got. Opportunistic from the base game. Whenever any of my species forages or hunts, I get 2 free meat if there's still veggies in the watering hole. Plated for 4 defense. And Clawed for +2 offense, +1 defense, and more veggies from the watering hole when I eat. And then I got 2 copies of the same climate card, Nocturnal. It's got 1 defense. It gives me +2 for resisting hot temperature, but again, we don't have any of that yet. And then it's also a nice defensive card because I can only be hunted by another species with Nocturnal. I want to kind of go aggressive here and make their species starve. So I think I'm going to put Clawed and Nocturnal on my species. I'll be able to grab more food from the watering hole, and hopefully I won't be able to get hunted by anybody. And both these have defensive boosts, so that might help as well. And then I think I'll discard these other 3 just to get more population. Although, will I be able to feed myself entirely? If I'm getting 3 food each time, 1 size plus the Clawed ability, and there's 6 in the watering hole, they'll probably grab at least 2 or 3 on their first action, which means if I have 4 population, I might be left high and dry. So actually, let's discard 1 of these to raise my size to 2 and the other 2 for population. Should make me very hard to eat by a hunter, and I should be able to grab half that food from the watering hole and hopefully make them starve a bit. All right, so now we come to Ronnie. Okay, and their first one is a climate card, Defensive Herder. They can't be hunted by a species with a lower population than them, and it's got 1 cold protection. Although Ronnie doesn't care about the whole hot and cold thing. So we're looking for a gear icon. Evader has 1 first, so they're going to become a defensive herder. Next is another climate one, thermoregulation. They may store 1 food on this trait to get 4 cold or 4 hot. Discard the food during scoring. Since Ryan doesn't care about hot or cold, this card actually has a special rule where they discard it immediately. And then if they are on the hot side of their card, they decrease their population. If they're on the cold side, they increase their population. Oh, which interestingly means this is a totally wasted card for them. Oh, sorry, I didn't even say who it was for. It's this little icon here, which goes with the glutton. Yeah, this is odd. Should I keep this card for them to get food? No, I guess by the rules, it just gets discarded. Okay, the next they have the same plated as me, which is also going to the evader. So, man, they are not getting hunted at all. Now I've got a base game scavenge. After any species hunts, eats 2 food. So far, there are no hunters, so I feel okay about that. And it's got a little scavenging icon, which is discarded by the evader to increase their size by 1. And a special rule in the climate solo, whenever they increase their size, they also increase their population, because as you'll see, size gets lost very easily, and it's not necessarily good sometimes. Okay, next is another climate one, UV absorbing fur. So it's +2 defense, +3 cold protection, and if it's the frigid or ice age, which is 4 spaces to the right of where we currently are, they would get +3 attack as well. And wow, it's another gear, so that's going on the evader as well. They've ignored the glutton completely. And finally, we've got social, a base game 1, +2 food when eating. And it's a leaf, so there we go. The glutton is getting that. All right, so we've got all veggie eaters, so my plan should work out pretty well here, as long as they don't eat all the food right away. And they are first, so they are going to eat, and they always want to activate the species that will eat the most. So right now, the gluttonous one would eat 1 +2, 3, but they can only fit 1, so they're only counted as eating 1. Whereas this ultra defensive and cold enabled evader can eat up to 2 because of their size. So they'll grab 2 of these from the watering hole. And then I would grab 2 + 2, 4, but I can only fit 3. And that leaves 1 in the watering hole. And now here, both of them could eat a single food, and that's all that's left. So they default to the oldest species, the glutton, which means they won't go extinct. So that was probably the right move. And now at the end of the feeding phase, we would check to see if anybody lost population based on the weather. This is how much population they would lose, 4 or 6 or 8 or 10. But their cards can protect them, and also their size inherently protects them. If you are smaller, you tend to have automatic protection against the heat. And if you're bigger, you have automatic protection against the cold. Although it only goes so far if you go into an ice age or a scorching age. But here, temperate weather, we're totally fine. Ronnie just has 1 population star, but it does not change where their card is located. Again, that'll only change with the weather. So we both got 3 points for the first round. Not too bad. And this population will go to their new species. And speaking of new species, we've got Bill. Add the hunter and nocturnal traits to Bill. Are you kidding me? My big defensive move. They've already invalidated it. Oh, wait, sorry. Before we prep them, we should see how the weather's doing. What the? Ooh, 5 hotter. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we are in the warm. We will now lose population up to 6 minus any defenses. And we're getting, 8 food in the watering hole. And with that, I should probably explain how the resistances work. So each species, when it's hot weather, takes the number 5 and subtracts their size. That's how much automatic heat resistance they get. So my clawed nocturnal species has 2 size, so they get 3 free heat resistance. And nocturnal is giving them 2 more. So if I do nothing, don't add any other traits, I will lose 1 population in the current weather. My new 1 species with nothing has 4 automatic heat resistance, so they'll lose 2 population unless I do something. And this does mean that all of Ronnie's species would flip to their left side if they weren't already there. If the temperature had gone 1 more to the left into hot, they would have also reduced the evader's size by 1, but they're not going to. Again, there's 6 cards again. I know this is a tough one for me. I don't know if I care about my new species, because getting them to survive and also not be eaten by Bill is going to be a tough order. I mainly want to protect my other species. Oh, and an important rule I forgot to say, in climate, you can now have 4 trait cards per species, although the bot does not benefit from that since they already don't care about the climate. So let's get like 3 and 2 this time. Maybe I'll get something like fast to protect me from Bill. Okay, no, I got another clawed, another scavenging, which actually could get us some food now, and thermoregulation, which is a little too extreme right now. And 2 new ones I drew from climate. Underground hoarding gives you +2 defense, +2 resistance to either weather extreme. And you can store extra food on this trait up to your population after you've already fed everybody, which is amazing. And then as a feed action in the future, you can move all the stored food to hungry animals if the weather gets crazy or the watering hole runs out. Although food on the underground hoarding card itself does not count for points at the end of the game. And I also got long neck. Ooh, +3 heat resistance, and I eat 1 from the supply after foraging. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking, let's see, if I made them underground hoarding and long neck, how much heat resistance would I have even if things get crazy? 3, 5, 7, plus 3 more from my size, 10? Yeah, that would protect me in all but the craziest of weather, and even if things started going to the cool side, I should have a turn to kind of see it happening and figure it out. Additionally, my underground hoarding would let me steal even more food from their leaf eaters. My long neck, along with my clawed, would let me make sure that my people were all fed. Although honestly, actually, the long neck one is not as necessary, is it? Because I don't really want to eat from the supply. I want to get as much as I can from the watering hole to make sure they run out of food. Though I guess it never hurts to protect myself. Okay, I'm going to let my other species just be eaten or something. I'm going to discard all 3 of these. And I think I'm going pure size here. Because how much defense do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And their new hunter already has 2 trait cards with no attack bonuses. So they'd have to get something like clawed and increase their size 3 times. I don't see that happening. They'll probably be eating their social gluttons over there. All right, so I'm pretty happy with this. We're going to go for a super species. All right, now we go back to them. Oh, they've got fast for even more defense. It would go to Evader, but it's going to Bill. Yeah, so they would be a great hunter if they were bigger and angrier, because they could ignore Nocturnal and Fast, which again might help them eat the Glutton or somebody else. Oh, and sorry, just a freeze frame on that one. Fast people can only be hunted by a species with as many fast traits as they have. And then they get another UV-absorbing fur, which would go to Evader, no, would go to Bill, no. Glutton will get rid of it for a size and a population. Uh-oh, Glutton, you're going to make yourself too hard for Bill to eat. Be careful. Because Bill definitely can't eat the Evader between their 4 defense here, 2 defense there. They are a tough nut to crack. Okay, next is a Clawed. Oh, which would have gone on Bill. I'm glad they don't have room. So instead, the Glutton's going to get bigger again. So they're going to be able to eat a lot of food. That's the only bad thing here. Okay, then I got another defensive herder, which is, wow, another gear. Glutton's doing it again. Oh, and sorry, I don't think I said, whenever they increase their size in climate, they also increase their population. But for regular players, when a species goes extinct, they get to draw cards equal to the size, because size can be good or bad in the hot and cold climate, but the bot does not get to do that. So they're kind of getting free actions, but they don't benefit from them later, potentially. Okay, the next thing they get a Tusked. When the watering hole becomes empty, they eat 1 meat. Oh, and that's going on the Glutton. This one's going to be their best feeder for sure. Okay, and finally, they got their own long neck on the Glutton. Wow, all right. So yeah, pretty sure Bill is going to only eat my 1 species. That's going to keep him from going extinct. Besides that, it's going to be a mad dash for food in the watering hole, so hopefully I can get as much of it as possible. Well, let's go ahead and give it a try. So I'm going to eat 2 from my size, 2 from Clawed. So that's 4, and then I get 1 more from the supply, not the watering hole with long neck. Oh, but shoot, now their Glutton is going to eat 4, because they do prefer the watering hole first, so their long neck doesn't even come into it. And they have emptied the watering hole, which means their Tusk would have given them another one, but again, they don't have any room for it. So the watering hole is empty. I'm going to have to starve 1 person. I didn't even get to use my underground hoarding. That's a bummer. So it comes back to me, but I didn't keep any cards to add more food to the watering hole, so I just have to starve. Oh, wait, hold on. I can choose who starves. You all starve. That means that Bill can't eat you. Oh, and I immediately get cards equal to their size. I'll draw a nature one. Oh, this is so perfect. Look, it's an underground hoarding with 1 food. So I can feed these guys without helping out the other side. All right, yeah, so I'll discard that in a second. All right, so over here, times are tough. Times are tough. So first they would like to feed the defensive herder, but there's no food in the watering hole, and they don't have any way to do so. So now they want Bill to hunt, but Bill is 1 attack. So even without any special defensive abilities, they could have only hunted my new species, but they already starved. Ooh, but I forgot. They starve hunters first. So they're going to actually get a chance to get some food from the hunter's cards to feed the Evader in a second. So, yep, they starve the hunter. I'm going to go ahead and do my thing, discard the underground hoarding, get 1 food that I eat. Ooh, and bonus, I get the 1 food from that card, but I also, with my long neck, get 1 from the supply that can go on underground hoarding. I could hold up to my population 6 of those. All right, Ronnie makes the hunter extinct. So the hunter card goes back. They get both of these. Well, not much shuffling, but shuffled into their hand. If they were a player, they would get to draw for the size of the dead species, but they're not. Okay, and then I'm fully fed, so it comes back to these guys. They're going to discard this card to add 3 food to the watering hole, and they will eat, only 2 of it. Haha! Which means guess whose time to shine it is? My dudes. I'm going to eat that extra food that's left over, and I get another one from long neck, so I'm already half fed for next round. Heck yeah. But now they will stop with 1 extra card in the reserve for next round. So, interesting. We both got 6 food, so we're still, I think, 100% tied, although they have 2 species left alive and I have only 1. So if we scored right now, they would actually be winning. And we do have to check the temperature. So it is 6 heat. I've got 5 minus 2 for my size. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I am 100% fine. So that brings us around 3 out of 4. Ronnie will be first. But let's see if the temperature does... Oh, it's going too cold. So it's still warm and we'll have 10 food in the watering hole. Wow. But things are definitely staying kind of in the middle right now, which is how the average play of this one tends to go. All right, so Ronnie's species are still on the left side, and their new one is a propagator from the base game. If Ronnie has no hunter, add the hunter trait to her largest species, oldest breaks ties. Oh man, dang it. I just realized I messed up an important rule for Ronnie last round. This is an exception that's a little bit hard for me to remember. Anytime one of their hunters gets a gear icon trait added to them, they switch to not being hunters, which means their other species definitely would not have been hunters, which, I mean, I don't know, that probably would have worked out about the same for them. They probably would have still gone extinct because the watering hole still would, oh no, I guess they still had that one extra card left. Well, hold on. Let's see if I can kind of fix this. Okay, so they had Nocturnal and Fast. When Fast got added, they would have lost the Hunter. Now, I don't remember what other trait they might have gotten, so I'll just leave them with those traits. So let's say they discarded that one card they had left over. Oh, it's only one food as well, which means one of them would have survived, and that would have gone to the Propagator. Sorry, just trying to sort of fix my error there. Definitely means that they're ahead of me now, though, with all these species. But Propagator still has no Hunter, so they take the largest species, so the Glutton. They have to throw away one of their cards randomly. I'm trying not to look since the backs are different. Okay, they got rid of their long neck. So they're now big tusked hunter. They can attack people up to size 4. But my species is still safe. They have 6, and also they're nocturnal, so the hunter can't get them. So Ronnie will hopefully just be eating her own people, though they can't eat Bill. They can't eat the Evader. But they might be able to eat the Propagator depending on how things pan out. But honestly, I'm kind of happy about that because that's their biggest population. So if they struggle to feed them or eat their own people, I'll be happy with that. All right, meanwhile, coming over to me. So all my species will be fine for the heat, obviously. So I might want to get a defensive card just to stop the Glutton from eating these people. And then I might want to keep a card or two because I think the food's going to go very fast. So with that, let's do, I think, like 4 regular cards and just 1 climate, because I'm hoping to get like a defensive card or one of the ones that gives free feeding. Oh, there we go. Opportunistic. After any of my species forages or hunts, if there's any food left in the watering hole, or tuss when the watering hole becomes empty, either of those would be good. Oh, and I got Nocturnal. Perfect. So I'll give them Nocturnal so they can't be hunted by the Glutton. And then I'll give them Opportunistic. They should be totally good with that. And then I want to be safe. I'm thinking I discard these 2 to increase their population, but keep the tusk with a ton of extra food, because I can store it all on Underground Hoarding. So if all goes well, I should be able to get 10 points pretty easily here, and I should be safe with the Nocturnal from any of Ronnie's people, I hope. All right, now let's see what they're doing. Okay, they got another Thermoregulation. Oh, and Propagators first, they discard it for a population. More people for the Glutton to eat, maybe. Okay, Scavenging. Oh, interesting, makes the Evader bigger. That also increases their size. Plated. Would go to Evader, no. Oh, goes to Bill, so they are impossible to hunt too. Good thing I never went for any hunters in this game. Another Thermoregulation. Increases the Propagator size again. Fast. Evader can't hold it. Bill can't hold it. Glutton can't gain any more size. Oh, so they just keep that for more food. That's actually probably great for them because I think the watering hole is going to run out quickly. I'm going to try to make it run out quickly. And then they get Underground Hoarding. Oh, wow, there's another size increase for the Evader. All right, yeah, this is going to be a hungry round. So they are first, and now the Evader has become the new Glutton. They can gain 4 food straight up. Bill only gets 1. The Propagator only gets 1. So they're getting 4 out of the 10, and they're already fully fed. All right, but now I'm going to get 4 from the watering hole, and I get 1 from the supply, and because there's 2 left in the watering hole, this species gets their 2 for Opportunistic. So not too bad. The watering hole is almost completely empty already, and I've got my cards, so I don't have to dip into my Underground Hoarding. I can add some stuff back and eat it immediately. All right, so next up is Bill or the Propagator, and they would each just eat 1, so they go with the oldest one, and Bill is fully fed. Oh wow, but there's 1 food left in the watering hole, so might as well not use my card yet. So we get it, and we get another one from Longneck. But that also means the Gluttons are going to trigger Tusked. Oh, and with Social, I guess they're only going to eat 1 of their own people, interestingly. But first, the Propagator is hungry, and they've got a card. Haha, I knew I would steal some of this. They're going to discard it to add 3 to the watering hole, but they only eat 1 of it. And guess who's going to swoop in for the other 2? Plus 1 from Longneck. I can still hold 3 more on Underground Hoarding. That empties the watering hole again. Oh, wait a second. And each time they eat, they get more. So the Glutton will probably never hunt anybody, I just realized, because they're just going to get 3 each time the watering hole is emptied. So bad news for me, the only people who starved were these 3 extra populations of the Propagator. All 4 of their species are still alive, and we each got 10 food. So unless something catastrophic happens, I don't see how I win this. By the way, just to note, I still have my Tusk. There was no real reason to play it yet. So that takes us into the final round. Obviously, nobody died from the weather. And let's see what happens. 5 cold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Oh, my species are actually not going to do great with that, I think. So only 4 food in the watering hole. That part I like, because that might starve out Ronnie's species. But for the cold, the inherent defense is reverse. Your size is how many cold you can ignore. We've got no traits. So 4 cold are dying. These guys can only protect themselves against 1 of it. Oh, the underground hoarders are fine. They've got 2 plus 2 from underground hoarding. So they're safe. That's good. But I need to get a new trait for these guys. And who knows what's going to happen with my new 3rd species. Although, as we saw, there's a very high likelihood that the glutton won't actually hunt anybody. So maybe that species can survive. Speaking of the glutton and everybody, they flip to be on their cold side of their actions now. And because it's round 4, they're using the rightmost. And we get a 5th species, Winifred, when played at the tusked and defensive herder traits. I know they're actually pretty hard to take down now because they've got 4 population, and they can't be hunted by any species with a lower population, and they've got plus 2 defense. Very interesting. All right, so what do I want to do? I definitely benefit from the watering hole being empty, because I've already got these people half fed, and I go first, so I can literally grab every piece of food in the watering hole. So this could be a mass extinction event for Ronnie's people, and that'll also, again, mostly feed the gluttons, so even if they come a-chomping, they won't be able to eat very much. So the most important thing for me is to get something to protect them from the cold, or I could just make them larger, I guess, but that would be wasting a bunch of cards. And maybe protecting these people from being eaten, even if they don't survive otherwise. You know what, I'm just going all climate, why not? Plus my 1 leftover tusk card. Okay, I got thermoregulation, so I can put 1 food on this trait to get 4 cold or 4 heat protection. So that would certainly work for them. Got UV absorbing fur, but we're not in the frigid or ice age. We're just in cold. I was thinking I might make my other species be a super hunter, but nope. Underground hoarding, tusked. Yeah, so let's give these dudes thermoregulation. That way they can definitely survive. Now, do I care enough about those guys? I could give them UV absorbing fur and they would survive. Yeah, I guess an extra species. I don't think we're going to get hunted would actually be a good thing. Okay, then I have 4 cards. I think I just go all out. With 4 more species, I don't want them to have any more. But these dudes should be able to trigger opportunistic. Well, actually, will they get opportunistic very often? Well, when these dudes eat, they should get it. Because they should be able to sneak in like when Ronnie accidentally overfills it. So yeah, we'll go like that, I think. Oh, wait, but if they only trigger it once, never mind, we'll go like this and see what happens. Yeah, I'm really hoping to be able to scavenge off Ronnie's cards because they're going to have a ton of cards they're discarding to feed their people, but maybe I should keep one. Yeah, you know, just to be safe, I think I'm going to keep my 1 tusk that discards for 4 food. That should make sure these guys get fully fed. All right, Ronnie gets 6 cards again, but not really because it's round 4, so she keeps 4 of them. So she'll definitely have cards to discard, so we're just doing 2. Okay, we got a tusk with a leaf. There's so many people to consider now. Okay, they want to get bigger, but no, they can't. They want to increase population. Oh, they want to get bigger and increase population. Okay, so it's going to Winifred. And Winifred has tusks, so they might actually get fed, even though they're pretty big now. Okay, and the other one is thermoregulation. First priority would be Evader to gain another population. All right, they have way more population than me, and they already scored more points, and they have more species. We're really hoping a lot of them die. We'll see what happens. All right, so not going to waste any time. We are grabbing the max we can grab 4 plus 1 from Longneck for our big species. But we don't get to trigger opportunistic because there's no food in the watering hole left. And their tusked dudes do get to eat. Well, maybe I should have done tusk. Now that I think about it, why'd I save the food if I could have just played the trait? Well, whatever. And yeah, Winifred is also tusked. Okay, so now they have cards they want to eat. So Winifred can just eat 2. The Evader can eat 4. They've got to be the first choice, right? Yep. So Ronnie's going to discard cards. 1, 3, 5. Wow. And the Evader will eat 4 of the 5, which triggers our tusked friends again. Okay, so they're fully fed. And Winifred up there gets 1 more. Okay, but this is looking good for us because these dudes should starve. Now, this is interesting. I am worried about my other species dying. Well, you know what? No, we should be safe because they're going to discard a card and they're only going to eat 1 with their new species. So I'll have them eat again. So they empty out the watering hole and they get 1 more for the long necks. So they're totally safe now with underground hoarding. I sort of have a plan. I don't know if it's good. And then Winifred gets another one from Tusked. Now, interestingly, they're the one who can eat the most too because the card is considered by the bot to probably be 3 or more. Oh, it's only 1. Shoot. I mean, they're still fully fed. But now, unless I mess up, both of these should die. Oh, no, I guess they'll get the cards back and still be able to feed some people. But yeah, to save myself, I think I have to discard this for 4. And have my weenie species eat 1, which triggers their opportunistic, 'cause otherwise all of us would die. Oh, shoot, I forgot about thermoregulation. Okay, so I guess they're not fully fed yet. Darn it. Okay, now that there's food there, these guys get priority, eating 1. And then these guys are going to eat with their long necks. But again, the watering hole is emptied out. And dang it, I was wondering, Ronnie's starving works out well for her because they starve the species with more population. If it's still tied, they starve the leftmost, so they're going to get these 3 cards back in their hand. But I don't have to starve yet because I can, as an eating action, move 1 food over to fully feed my people, giving the propagator time to discard. Yay, a big one. So they get to eat the 1. Everybody is fed, but that means the nocturnal guys can eat 1. Yeah, I definitely think I lost this, but at least I made a shot for it. So checking temperature, it's 4 cold. We've got 2 from size and 2 from underground hoarding for them, so they're fine. 1 size and discard the thermoregulation to add 4, so 5 cold for them. 1 size, 3 cold for them. Everybody's fine. And of course, Ronnie doesn't care, so let's go to scoring. Yeah, and as expected, they do come out with the win. I had 39, they had 43. Maybe I should have stuck to mouse difficulty or gotten some hunters to eat all their little species. But with that out of the way, let's talk about what I think of this new module. On the positive side, I think this is the most dynamic and most exciting single module to play with. So if you're just going to play base game in 1 module, which is often the easiest way to do things, I think Climate does the most because crazy things can happen. You have a wide diversity of traits to deal with them. And each game is going to be wildly different, for better or worse. The swinginess is definitely something I'll talk about later in the review. But I think this has a bigger, more exciting impact on the game with 1 module. But I also think it's the module that plays the least nicely with other modules, if you're doing 2 or 3 modules in 1 game, which is how I often like to play. Because if the temperature gets into the extreme, which to be fair, it doesn't always. You saw in this game, it never went too crazy either way. But even when it gets into like the 6s and the 7s, you need to be drawing a lot of cards from Climate to be able to keep your species alive, which means you don't really have the time and the luxury to draw too much from the other modules. So I think for the average player where 1 module is the most he'll ever play, this is a really, really cool one, as long as you don't mind the inherent swinginess, because if you're like preparing all your species for a lot of cold weather, and then whoops, they are only 1 result on the sides, 5 or 6, so it tends to be smaller moves, but let's say you get a 6 heat, and suddenly all that cold preparation wasn't worth it. Or let's say, actually, this is probably a worse one. Let's say you're in like the warm, but it's not that bad and you can just handle it without doing anything. And then it jumps forward 6. Suddenly you need 10 for each species. Everyone's going to die. So I don't think that level of randomness will be fun for everybody. But again, on the other hand, it can be very exciting. And the traits themselves are pretty cool. They have a lot of ones that protect you from attacks and stuff, which does, I think, make Climate also a less hunter-friendly module, again, for better or worse. And I think things like underground hoarding and thermoregulation, giving you other ways to spend your food, are pretty nice. So yeah, I guess a bit of a mixed thing here. If you were going to only play with 1 module and you have gamers who don't mind some randomness, this might be the coolest expansion you would ever get. But if you like to throw in a bunch of modules or randomness annoys you, I think this one might be frustrating. And speaking of potential frustration, the solo bot is also much more swingy in this module than in other ones. Because since they don't care about those temperature extremes at all, except for moderately changing their play, in those rare games, because usually, as you saw, it doesn't get all the way to the end, but in those rare games where it does, the player will be scrambling to barely eke out an existence for some of their animals, while the bot just kind of does whatever it wants. Although, to be fair, there's so little food in the watering hole, they'll probably die some too. But yeah, the bot does the best it can with the huge range of possibilities in this expansion. So a bit of a mixed bag for Climate. I think some people will absolutely adore it. For me and my taste, it's definitely a lower tier one. I would probably rank it right above the Natural Disasters, which is my personal least favorite expansion. For me, the top would still be Tundra and Rainforest, the 2 that change up the environment the most, with Flight coming in right behind that and Jurassic behind that. Those are my 4 favorites, and the ones that if you have gaming taste like me and you're going to play the game a lot solo, I think offer the most value and fun. So that was Nature Climate. Hope that was helpful. And thanks for watching, everybody. Special thank you to our biggest Patreon supporters, Dan, J. William F., Steve Wren, KCW, Andrew R., and Chris C. We'll see you at the next stop.